My name is Emma Messenger, and I'm nominated for Annie Wilkes in Misery from the Edge Theater. I nailed Big Mama in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof that was also at the Edge Theater. And the reason I feel so good about this particular role is because while I was rehearsing, I had this epiphany when I realized that the relationship between Big Mama and Big Daddy was kind of like my parents. I mean, my mom is in no way Big Mama, but my father is kind of a Big Daddy. And the way she handles my father is really subtle. So you think he's this big blustering, charismatic man in control, but actually she's in control. And that really helped me with Big Mama. Sylvia, because I played 3 completely different characters, one of them whom was a gentleman. And it was a great deal of fun dressing up as a man. I had to put stubble on my face and a great big pillow because this is not easy to hide. So then there was also this sock that grew in size from performance to performance. And it was just a lot of fun just stalking out there like this kind of crazy guy. And then I also was Phyllis, who is this lovely sort of New York socialite. So she was very elegant. And then went into Leslie, who is like this creature from psychiatry hell. This role scared the hell out of me. Martha in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I didn't get this character until about a day and a half before we opened. Because she's so complicated, there's like layers and layers and layers, and she hides so deeply within the text. She was just afraid of being abandoned again. Her mother had died when she was young. She has this really cold father, and the only one who really loves her is George. But she doesn't know that in her heart, so she misbehaves like a child, like the naughtiest little girl, because she keeps wanting George to stop her. It's a long one too, it's a 3.5 hour show with intermissions. But this was the hardest one, and I felt I just squeaked in. Sue Mingers in I'll Eat You Last. And this is my role that I choose to say, this was a blast. It was obviously such a great cast, and I loved working with them. It's the kind of thing you are by yourself out there for 90 minutes, and if you mess up, it's on you, and you've got to save yourself. She's so brave, and she's so ballsy and just sure of herself, and she doesn't give a about anybody, and she'll let you know. And I could just go out there and not give a about anybody, and it was like this incredible lightness that would come. Misery, Annie Wilkes. And it wasn't supposed to be funny, but this really strange thing happened where it's a horror story, right? It's a thriller. And I think people came expecting to be thrilled and horrified, and she would say things that she would take completely seriously, but the audience, knowing the context of the whole story, would find hilarious. The show that was the funniest is this little, where is it? The Birds Sing Too Loud. It's by Jack Kenny. And it was a benefit, an evening of one acts for this wonderful theater I worked for in Los Angeles called Circus Theatricals. And Jack Kenny wrote it. He also wrote Titus and Warehouse 13. He's a television writer. And this was a 3-person, 15-minute show about 2 old aunts who come to visit this young man in Los Angeles. And they are the whiniest, most complaining. I mean, everybody has one, right? Everybody has one of these aunts. And the audience, you know, at one point, I think he says, you know, oh, please don't smoke in here. And they just light up. And in those days, you could smoke a cigarette in the theater. And he tries to kill them by various means. He pours bleach in their coffee and he's stabbing them in the neck, and they just go, ugh, I'm not so comfortable here, or something like that. Anyway, it was hilarious. It was so funny. I think because everybody could relate to people like this in their family, they would be stomping their feet in their seats. It was just one of those 15 minutes of just pure roller coaster. It was great. Nolita in Sordid Lives. Nolita is this big fat girl who has been left by her husband and she's devastated. And she has big Texas hair and I had this huge wig and this little mini skirt, and I am not a woman to wear a mini skirt, but Nolita was. And she had cowboy boots and a gun and she was hot. And my husband still likes me to put that wig on sometimes and the mini skirt. Mag from the Beauty Queen of Lebanon. Oh my God. Turning into Mag is like Smeagol becoming Gollum, because you are stripped down to the ugliest, most animalistic, greedy, selfish part of your nature. So it wasn't just a physical transformation, which it was, because I went through cans of gray hairspray, and I had this old cardigan that I had actually made that was a horror show in itself with little kitten buttons on it. But this is an Irish woman who had been just completely isolated, and she has a difficult relationship with her daughter, and it just became feral. I really felt like I disappeared into this character, and it was great fun. Here it is, okay. Stella and Lou, which is playing this weekend and next weekend at the Barth Hotel to benefit senior housing options. Stella is effortless. Now, she speaks differently than I do. She's got a little bit of an accent, but her heart is so close to mine. So putting this character on is just like effortless. It's gossamer. It's so light and so gentle and just easy. There's nothing forced about this character. So I think she's the one most like me because she's just already there. None of the roles were totally wrong for me. I was right for all of them. I loved all of them with all my heart. Asking me to choose one would be like asking me to say which one of my kids is my favorite. I loved all of them.